A very good morning to all of you. Myself, Dr. Preeti Yadav. I am working as Assistant Professor in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurugram. I am from Applied Science Department. Today, I will discuss Langevins theory of diamagnetism from Unit 2 under lecture number 10. In my previous lecture, I have discussed the type of magnetic materials and their properties. First of all, what is the origin of magnetism? Origin of magnetism lies in the fact that the electron rotate or revolve about the nucleus in an orbit is equivalent to circulating current and that generated time varying magnetic field. Here, this is electron which is revolve around a nucleus in their orbit and there is a spinning motion. Also, this time-varying magnetic field produces randomly oriented magnetic dipoles without any external electric field with non-zero magnetic dipole moment. And the type of these magnetic dipole depend upon the type of motion where performed by the electron. There are two types of motion. First is orbital motion and the second is spin motion. Orbital motion generates orbital magnetic movement and spin motion of the electron generates spin magnetic movement. Orbital motion gives orbital magnetic movement, whereas spin motion gives rise to spin magnetic movements. Now the Langevins theory of diamagnetism. Paul Langevin is a scientist proposed a classical based model of diamagnetism. Because this is a classical theory, it is an approximation, but its results give good agreement with the experiment results. Also, Langevin theory of diamagnetism also called classical theory of diamagnetism. In Langevins theory of diamagnetism, we will obtain two expressions. First is magnetic moment is opposite to the magnetic field and the second is susceptibility of diamagnetic as we know is negative and also temperature dependent. According to electron theory, an atom is we know that atom made of number of central nucleus and electrons are revolved around in a different orbits. A revolving electron is equivalent to an electric current which produce magnetic field perpendicular to the plane of orbit and has a due to magnetic field has a magnetic dipole moment. A, an atom in general contains several such current rings and the resultant magnetic moment is the vector sum of the magnetic moments of all the current loops. According to Langevin, the atom of diamagnetic substances are such that the vector sum of all magnetic moments of current loop is equal to 0 since the orientation of one cancel out the other and so on. Because in diamagnetic material, the atom has a even number of electrons in their outermost shell. That is, valence number of electron is even. Therefore, magnetic moment of one electron is cancelled to the diamagnetic moment of the other electron because the spin of both the electrons is up and down means opposite to each other. Therefore, the magnetic moment of the two being equal and opposite and cancel each other in the absence of any external magnetic field so that the net magnetic moment of each atom is 0. Let us discuss from this diagram. Here, if there are two electrons, one is spin up and other is spin down. Suppose one electron is moving in the direction, in clockwise direction. If electron revolve around the nucleus, then there is a movement of electron means there is a current because current is movement of charged particle. If electron move in clockwise direction, If electron move in clockwise direction, then the current move in anti-clockwise direction. Here, current move in anti-clockwise, therefore produce here, this is the generate north pole. If this is a north pole, is of upper surface is north, then the lower surface acts as a south pole. Therefore here north and south pole generated. If there is a north and south pole, it means there is a magnetic field, and magnetic field means magnetic dipole. And if there is a magnetic dipole, then there exists a magnetic dipole moment. And what is the direction of magnetic dipole moment here? As we know that the direction of magnetic dipole moment is from south to north, and in this case upper surface as a south north and lower surface as a south. Therefore inner to outer, and this is represented from this inner to outer is the direction of magnetic dipole. Now in the second case, electron move in anti-clockwise direction around the nucleus, and therefore the current in the clockwise direction because opposite to the direction of the electron, and then this phase acts as a south pole. And if the upper phase acts as a south pole, then the lower phase acts behave as a north pole, and therefore they here create north and south pole, also create magnetic dipole, and there is a generation of magnetic dipole moment. And the direction of magnetic dipole is from south to north. Here south is upper and north is lower. Therefore outer to inner side is the direction of magnetic dipole moment. Is direction shows the south to north. Here inner to outer, here outer to inner. Therefore the direction of magnetic dipole moment is equal and opposite, therefore cancel to each other. Therefore due to the cancel of the magnetic moment, the net magnetic dipole moment in case of diamagnetic material is 0. Let a uniform external magnetic field of induction B be applied perpendicular to the plane of rotation of electron and directed away from the reader. Each electron experience a magnetic force. We know that. Now discuss the direction of electric force as well as magnetic force. Here is the electric force always towards the nucleus because electron has a charge negative and nucleus is a positive. Therefore, there is a force of attraction. Now, what is the direction of magnetic force? And we know that F is equal to BeV is the magnetic force. And according to Fleming left hand rule, the Lorentz force F acts radially outwards on the electron revolving in the revolving anti-clockwise direction. If the electron revolve in anti-clockwise direction, then the direction of force radially outward on the electron. It's therefore, but in this case, electron revolve in the first case, electron revolve clockwise direction. Therefore, the direction of force is towards inward, and also electric force is inward direction. Therefore the net force here is the sum of Fe plus Fm. Therefore net force increases on the electron. If the force increases, then the speed or velocity of the electron increases, and the movement also increases. If the movement of electron increases, then there is a current increases, and if the current increase, then the magnetic dipole moment is also increased, because as we know that dipole moment is directly proportional to current, and therefore is a change in magnetic dipole moment, and this change is in the form of plus delta mu. Here for magnetic moment nu, and the change is represented by delta mu. In the next case, when the electron revolve in anti-clockwise direction, the Fleming left hand rule, The Lorentz force acts radially outward direction here, outward direction, and here electrostatic always towards the nucleus. Therefore, the net result is Fe minus Fm or Fm minus Fe. Net force decreases. If the net force decreases on the electron, means the speed of the electron or velocity of the electron decreases. If the moment of electron decrease, it means current decreases. And if the current decrease, as we know that current is directly proportional to mu, therefore dipole moment also increase, and there is a decrease in dipole moment, and this change in the form of decrease in the dipole moment. Now, when external magnetic field is applied to such an atom, in terms of words, we discuss the electronic orbit undergoes precessional motion and known as Larmor precession about the direction of the field, and this result to change in the angular frequency. There is a change in the angular frequency of the electron, and electronic orbits shift slightly related to each other, but in such a manner so as to produce a negative magnetic moment, means opposite to the magnetic field. Suppose an electron, let us derive the relation for Langevin theory. Suppose an electron revolving around the nucleus in an atom. The centrifugal force F between the electron and the nucleus is, we know that F is equal to mv square by r, and we also know there is a relation between linear velocity v and angular velocity omega, that is v is equal to r omega. Put this value of v in this equation, and the resultant centripetal force is equal to m omega square r. Now, when this atom is subjected to a magnetic field, if then there also experience additional force, Lorentz force, and then Lorentz force is equal to E V cross B. It means E replace V by omega R, E omega R B. Due to this force, there is a change in angular frequency when the field is switched on. Due to this force, electron revolves with new frequency omega dash, and the resultant is force is F minus E omega RB, that is equal to new frequency M omega dash square R, and in the previous F is equal to M omega square R, that put this value, and E omega RB is equal to M omega dash square R. The resultant equation is M omega square R minus E omega RB, that is equal to M omega dash square R. Here R cancel from this equation, and the resultant is M omega square minus M omega dash square is equal to E omega B. Therefore, here taking common M, and the resultant is omega square minus omega dash square is equal to E omega B upon M. And we know that A square minus B square is A minus B, A plus B. And for a small b, for small magnetic field, omega minus, there is a difference between initial and final frequency change represented by delta omega. And also omega dash plus omega is approximate equal to 2 omega. Put all these values in the above equation. Therefore, the resultant is delta omega 2 omega E omega B by M. Omega omega cancel, and the resultant angular frequency is equal to EB by 2m. And the change in magnetic, this frequency is also known as Larmor frequency due to Larmor precession. And this change in magnetic moment is equal to, we know that delta mu is equal to, in my previous lecture, I have already discussed magnetic moment is current into area, and we get this formula. Therefore, minus is for electron, er square by 2. Here change in frequency delta omega, put the value of delta omega from this expression, and the resultant magnetic moment is equal to minus er square by 2 eb by 2m. We know that change magnetic moment is equal to E omega r square by 2m in my previous lectures. Here, from this equation, it is clear that the change in magnetic moment is opposite to the direction of the magnetic field, because here is a negative and B is a magnetic field. And the first point of Langmuir's theory is the change in magnetic moment of the diamagnetic material is opposite to the direction of the magnetic field. Now we will prove second point of Langmuir theory, that is susceptibility is negative and temperature independent. Firstly, in this case we have studied the Langmuir theory, a change in magnetic moment, dipole moment for a one electron of one atom of a diamagnetic material. But the diamagnetic material contains a number of atoms and the atom contains large number of electrons. Let's change this expression for a number of electrons. And this is E square final expression of this. Now, suppose the atomic number be Z, means contain Z number of electron, then the above equation may be written as delta mu. Here R is changed by summation here I1 to Z 4mb, where summation extends over all electrons. Since all electrons have different radii, every electrons have a different radii, therefore we use delta mu is equal to E square Z atomic number upon 4m. And we're taking summation of all the radius of all the electrons and B. If the orbit lies in xy plane, then r square is the equation of circle, that is equal to x square coordinates along x-axis plus y square average of y square along y-axis. If R, capital R represent average radius, then for spherical atom, R square from here, if there are number of electron and whose orbit is different, where and the radius is also different. If for one electron the radius is r1, for second electron the orbit is this and the radius is r2, and for the third electron whose radius is r3, and the average radius is r1 plus r2 plus r3 up to rz. And if r represents average radius, then for spherical atom r square is equal to x square plus y square plus z square, average of all the three coordinates. Now, for a spherical symmetry, we know that x square average is equal to y square average and is equal to z square. That is equal to, if from this equation, if all the three are equal, then the 3x square is equal to r square and x square is equal to r square by 3. And here is same, x square also equal to y square and equal to z square, average values is equal to average of r square by 3. And therefore r square, from the previous slide, r square is equal to x square plus y square. Put the value of x square from here and y square from this equation. Therefore the resultant is r square is 2r square by 3, because x square is also equal to r square by 3 plus y square is also equal to r square by 3. Then the total is 2r square average by 3. Therefore, the change in magnetic moment for atomic number for all the electrons whose atomic number is Z, that is equal to minus E square Bz upon 4m 2 by 3, replace r square by 2 by 3, average r square. Now this is the cancel to then the resultant dipole magnetic moment is minus Z E square B 6m r square. Now, this is the expression for all the electrons. If there are n atoms, is this expression for one atom that contains Z number of electrons. If the diatomic material contains n atoms per unit volume, and we know that the magnetization produced would be that is equal to n number of atoms and change in dipole moment per unit volume. Therefore, magnetization, here put the values of delta mu, that is equal to Z E square B 6m R square average, and here n is contains the number of total atoms in a diatomic material. And the resultant is, because we know that B is equal to mu naught H, therefore replace B by mu naught H and put the expression is, and all, but susceptibility we know that is equal to magnetization upon me H, M by H. Therefore, and replace H by B by mu naught, because B is equal to mu naught H, and put the values of M from here, and the resultant is, we cancel each other, and the resultant susceptibility is equal to n, n number of atoms, Z is the atomic number of the electron, mu naught is the permeability, E square is the charge of electron, is m upon 6m is the mass of the electron, and average R square. From this expression, it is clear that susceptibility of diamagnetic is negative. And also there is no term of temperature, therefore susceptibility does not depend on temperature. This is the Langevin formula for susceptibility of diamagnetic materials. Now conclusion is, diamagnetic susceptibility Xi m by s, that is mu naught and Z E square R square upon में 6m. From this, Xi is directly proportional to Z here. Therefore, bigger atoms would have larger susceptibility. Xi dia depends on internal structure of the atoms, which is temperature independent, and hence the Xi also independent of temperature. Here, if example are 0.1 and nanometer, n is number of electron 5 into 10 to the power 28 per meter cube, then the susceptibility is mu naught. We know that the value of mu naught is 4 by 10 to the power minus 7, n is given, Z is atomic number is given, is charge we know that 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19, and R is given 0.1 nanometer, and we know that mass of the electron 9.1 into 10 to the minus 31, then the final susceptibility is minus 3 into 10 to the minus 6 centimeter per cube. Now, what is the application of diamagnetic metal? First is superconducting magnets are the foremost elements of most magnetic resonance imaging. Means MRI system contains magnetic materials and are among the most important application of diamagnetism. Diamagnetic materials are mostly used in MRI system, means magnetic resonance imaging system. Second is bismuth, which is used in guns, display the strongest magnetism. Bismuth can be melted down and molded to efficiently capture any diamagnetic properties. And the third is, because diamagnetism is essentially the expelling of magnetic fields within a material, strong diamagnetic materials can be levitated, or if they are sufficiently strong and enough area, can levitate magnets. Figure show a levitating piece of graphite. Levitate piece of graphite by using diamagnetic material. Now, the important question related to Langevin theory of diamagnetism. First is, which is very important, explain the Langevin theory of diamagnetism. Second, explain that the susceptibility of diamagnetic materials is negative. Thank you.